Okay. All right, let's get to it. Guys, we got a sign-in after this. Those guys will get his booth, so will I. I'll be at 554 upstairs. Come down and see us and bring all your wonderful morphers. Those things are worth a lot of money now, right? Well, without further ado, I want to kick this off. That's for real, and I just, want to be organic about this and answering questions and just weigh in whatever you want to, but as a fan and from watching the series, it just looks like hella fun. I mean, was it fun to do? Yeah, we had a lot of fun. I mean, come on, everybody wants to be a superhero, right? We got to be 5 teenage superheroes. 6, well, started as 5 then, and then 6. The best weight ranger of all time. There you go. And it was awesome. We had a great time. We got amazing fans all around the world, millions of countries. I mean, not millions of countries. Yeah. That was good week. Yeah, I think it was about the same time. Maybe the smart one. All those lines, I'm like, what?
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Together.
Working with these guys, I gotta say, I miss them. You know what I mean? The original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. After so many years, it's just you can't beat that. After seeing these guys, you start thinking of all these memories. You know what I mean? You start thinking of some memories. We got Bane in the back there. Yeah, Bane. Bane versus the Rangers right now. But anyway, yeah, it's a lot of fun, especially working with these guys. Give it up to the Rhode Island Comic Con for bringing us together for the first time. This is the first time I've been with these two gentlemen since I left the show. Wow. So,
oh, man.
It's pretty awesome. Now, talking about that, Walt was nice enough to be generous golf pops. And we had fun. It was fun, and we posted. You guys can check it out.
Yeah. We were smiling. Power Rangers has its own convention, so I was wondering if there's like a Power Rangers club. You guys have almost answered the question, but do you keep up with each other, even though you may not have seen each other?
Like a car club?
Yeah, that would be cool, right? Mini truck. You guys shop at the same place? I don't know. Come on, his words. You can see how that Dragon Door's got spinners, baby. I got a big trunk. Dagger. Whoa! I'm sorry, man. We lost questions. Yeah. See what happens? We all do keep in touch with each other. No, we don't have the Power Rangers club. Dude, I got so ripped off of the Power Rangers fan club there. Oh, dude. Really? Yeah, we've got the original Power Rangers fan club. With this, what? the window stickers, dude. I was like, yeah. Window, underwear. Yeah. Pizza, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I was telling the audience just before we started that one of my particular interests in Power Rangers is based on my own interest in martial arts. So, how much training did you do beforehand, during the show? Was that a big part of being a Power Ranger? Was that a prerequisite? I'll speak first and then I'll go because I want to say something about these guys. Again, working with the original cast, it was great. We were talking about that last night. He brought something special that still hasn't been on TV, hip-hop kilo. You know what I mean? That was never released. The greatest finest hip-hop kilo videos. He was great. Each had their own individual martial arts skills. I did. They did phenomenal gymnastics, and I got to tell you, with the martial arts, man, we pulled off some awesome fights. You know what I mean? I've been training my whole life, so when I went to the show, and back in those days, it wasn't like, Matrix or nothing like that. It was us, man. It was, really no stunt doubles out of costume. We did those hits on the floor, so I think it's great working with these guys. Everybody had their own special, tweet. High feet, yeah, exactly. So I just want to say that. Of course, I studied days before, and I got martial arts schools. can visit the website at writersunkarate.com. Anyway.
Yeah, I was martial artist as well. I studied issue. I was a Pee Wee state champion, Michigan state champion when I was a kid, and hadn't really been practicing martial arts as much when I auditioned for the show, but I did have the skills to bring to it, and they got refined and continued the show. In fact, we worked with so many really awesome stuntmen, like some of the guys you work with were amazing martial artists. So I got to learn different styles. Like I learned some capoeira, taekwondo, I learned different styles from different guys. And it was a lot of fun. There's a camera in my face. Yeah, now it was fun, and Jason came on the show, and he upped the game. In fact, Power Rangers up the game of everything. Like martial arts is where it is today, I think, because of our show. I mean, with the gymnastics and the fighting and even the dancing, it's like I mean, you see what people do now. X Games, it's like martial arts X Games.
Definitely helps out. Yeah. Now you guys are all grown up, so it helps even more. Before 5-year-olds running around, parents maybe didn't educate you what martial arts is all about. But you got to be educated to appreciate it and read so many fans and say, hey, we started this because of you, or
yeah,
you know, a little hip hop cue here and there. And of course, Dave has a back twist. My daughter tried to do it. I'm like, no, please, you know. She loves it. She saw these guys and I'm like, oh, you know.
Yeah, I was a gymnast. I competed in the United States for a while as a competitive gymnast, mostly in the state of Montana. And then, you know, when I auditioned for the show, obviously it had to help me a little bit in getting the role. So it was a lot of fun. And then before we started filming, they did the main thing, Joe and I tried to study martial arts today. So Jason actually was really good and came in and trained us. Taught us how to do kicks and made us do little workouts and taught a lot with those kinds of moves. So I owe a lot to him. And it was a lot of fun.
Vice versa with the flips. You know, we all helped together, I think.
Yeah,
What you got to do is the hip hop keto. I'm sorry. You got to skittle, you got to dance, you know. So I couldn't do that, but I definitely helped with the flips and all that. Johnny Bosch tried to.
Which of you guys have a particular episode that sticks out in your memory as a favorite or a least favorite that you'd like to share with us?
Jason.
Well, I think the best one for me. Well, I gotta go back here. I used to say the fighting spirit from Dino Thunder, and you know, I think the favorite episodes for me now, I gotta think of Zio because my brother, you know, he passed away, and I get that question asked so much. Like, what's your favorite episode? And on a business level, fighting spirit, because I made in the hospital, it was a little bit edgy and violent. I was like, and they're like, and cut. And I'm like, and cut. Oh, sorry, the easiest acting. You know, the Zio was pretty cool. My brother and Dave actually took my brother in for a month and stole his Mercedes for a week. But anyway,
My brother stole my Mercedes.
That's right. Yeah, he's like, where's your brother? I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So Zio, I would think, you know, with my brother, I think those are the best personal moments. But at business level, it would probably be fighting spirit. Just for me. So, you know.
Right, Dave.
I would say food fight because it was like one of our first season was probably the most. All those episodes were a lot of fun for me. Just the cast, we had such good chemistry, and we had a lot of fun together. And I just remember that one being really fun.
You know what? I don't even know the name of the episode, but I like the episode where I got to fight. Oh, that was a lot of them.
Battle.
I love all the fights. Like when I've seen footage of episodes where you know, me and Austin sparred in the juice bar, or me and Jason David sparred in the juice bar. Those days were always fun because we didn't have a lot of time to fight. It was like we had to put it together like that. It's like, okay, so you guys are going to do a fight, we're going to lay out the match code, you got 15 minutes to practice, and we're like, okay, so I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to do this one, you know, like, hit each other, and and then we film it, and usually turned out to be pretty cool, but that was always fun to me.
I don't know if you remember, but we were in the original, when I first came in as a Green Ranger, we're all in the command center, you and Oscar messing around. He got me in this, like, full Nelson, remember that? And we were like trying to, you were joking around, and he was like this, and I was moving, I was like, dude, come on, and then I hit the command center and, like, rolled my wheels. I remember this, because I used to get afraid to get in trouble when I first started, and he didn't bear anymore. I was really trying to be good. And then so me and him were messing around, they're like, whoa, the command center was like rolling on wheels. I remember that now. I was thinking about that, man. The first time I came over right now, I didn't care about getting in trouble. We messed around.
I just had off to say I love Zach's birthday. That was my birthday.
I want to ask one more question before I open it up to the audience, just because I've been dying to ask this. So when I was a kid, I never really thought about it, but as an adult, I mean, I can't say Black Power Ranger without kind of laughing about that.
But it's always interesting because people that don't know about the Power Rangers, and I say, yeah, I was the Black Ranger, they go, is that what they call you? Yeah, no, the Black Rangers in the suit. The suit was black. I was black. I was just Ranger. No, but I mean, it's funny because TNT did the whole thing. They're like, Power Rangers were prejudiced. But this is my opinion. Power Rangers wasn't prejudiced. They might have been stereotypical. I'm not mad at the fact that I was a Black Ranger because of a couple of reasons. One, for African American people, it made me stand out even greater for them. So that's kind of a big deal, like for the African American community, it was like, we got superhero, man. The really big. But and he's cool. He's a cool guy. He's whatever, good-hearted. If it was prejudiced, I wouldn't have been a superhero. I would have been the villain, right?
I don't think they really thought about that.
No,
Maybe like yellow, it just happened to be that.
That was.
Well, they changed it afterwards because someone went, oh yeah. I was a White Ranger.
We're trying to make Austin into the Indian Ranger somehow. I don't know. Because he's the rest of it. Yeah, there's an Indian Ranger, and I'm like, there was an Indian?
I'm going to open this up to audience questions. So how this will work is we'll try and get everyone that I can. When you ask the question, I'll repeat it just so that everyone can hear it, okay? So any questions? Yes, front row.
Okay. This is a really stupid question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Stupid question, but it's going to ask anyway.
Yeah. I watched a commentary a little while back about, like stuff that happened behind scenes, and there was this ever-running joke about Austin's chair. Can you elaborate any further on that?
Yeah, that was all set up.
Anyone hear the question?
About Austin's chair. I think you're talking about on set, or was it Turbo, or what was it? Turbo? Yeah, that was totally, when we came up, they were like, hey, when you talk about this, just get mad about his chair. Someone just mentioned that, and I was like, all right. So I was like, yeah, Austin's chair, but that was all planned. It's like a reality show. I know Dave works on it, but I don't know. They set up some drama stuff, and all the desperate houses, and I'm watching it, all cool girls, everyone's crying. I'm like, oh my God, So I think that was definitely set up. I don't even know still to this day what that chair was about. I was like, I wasn't mad. I'm an actor. Yeah. I don't want to talk about the chair. I don't want to talk about that chair. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to answer that question. I don't want to talk about that chair at all. That was a real dumb question. And only put that part in the game will start moving.
You got four Rangers. You guys only ever got to be one.
Five. He's in the Jedi training thing. black. Once you go black, you never go back. That's what you actually said once you go black, you never go back. Well, I mean, I did like the black time. I'm not gonna lie, black was my favorite color. Every time we would sail, it was just colors after colors. And they kind of passed wardrobe around. You know, like I had a few Austin, he did. I had a few Austin shirts when I was red. I'm like, dude, what's shopping? Look what I was doing. Jam pants and all this. Like, you look back and I'm like, oh, yeah.
David, you know, man?
I would definitely want to test in Green Ranger.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I would have been Pink Ranger maybe.
Yeah! Dude, I'm going on weekends. I told you, you're pink out the other time. You know what?
I was happy being a Black Ranger, really. I was happy being a Black Ranger, but I do have to say that the Green Ranger was the best Ring Ranger of all time. Because it was like, the brother got to come in, he got to be mean. I wanted to be mean. It was always nice. I was like, I want to be mean. I want to, like, cause havoc, but I didn't get a chance to. But they got to be the White Ranger. That means a bunch of other colors.
Yeah, when I lost my shield, I felt naked. It was Gold Ranger thing. Austin, I was like, you got a shield. Cut your hair, you feel like kind of like naked or you're missing something, you know what I mean? I felt that when I didn't have a shield because I just like kind of poking people with it, you know, they're on their head. You know? Me and David had this thing where we always blocked lights from each other. Remember?
Yeah, I also remember you always had that breath.
He's just saying that because he don't want me to tell you every time in the shot he flexes muscles. I mean, like I remember like in shoulder shot or anything like that, he would just, you know, joke around with fun, just look at the camera, he'll go look at the close up, and I'll be looking at mine, like, look at that arm, that's awesome. So I started doing it, you know.
Walter, were you flexing as well?
I was always flexing.
You got to flex. You know, you're on TV, you got to flex, man. It's like,
Oh, kept tight.
I remember we did an episode where we were at it was like a festival or something, and they were all like celebrating the Power Rangers. Yeah, you did. Yeah, I was in the park. What you did?
I wasn't even on food side.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Everywhere. Nobody was done that. No, but I mean, like we were all out there that day. It was a hot day around without a church or stuff like that. Yeah, you were there. All right. Another question? Yes, right here with that.
So, for Jason, you and Amy Jo had a lot of stuff going on camera. You guys ever get together off camera?
That's why everybody asks that question. Nothing, you know, we all work together, you know what I mean? And, I mean, me and Dave hung out most on set, you know, and Amy just watch the dog for me and kill my dog. Sorry, man, you ate good poison. I was like, what? So we're all friends, you know, but no. And you can go to nopickspandex.com and listen to Amy's interview. She just did one.
Yeah,
an interview by Lisa and all that stuff. So
Great interview.
yeah, but no, he killed my dog. I said babysit because my kids are gonna be really upset if something happens to my brand new puppy. And I called and he's like, yeah, I forgot. He's like, you know, your dog's gone. I was like, what? Ran away? No, it's gopher poison. So I had to explain that. I don't even know what I said. It was like really heartfelt. I was like, listen, guys, dog did. Suck it up, don't cry. Soldiers don't cry. No pain, there's no joke.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. All right, go ahead. You have to answer the question.
fun stories from, they got a movie in Australia, and so we were there for probably almost 6 months in total. They did a lot of reshoots. They first had Mariska Haggerty in the film, but then they decided to recast. I have the Harvey schools.
I don't know what I was.
On your Facebook page?
No, I was like shooting leaves and stuff. I was just weird, you know what I mean? I was like, I think I was supposed to edit it later, and I never.
Yeah, this guy, he actually, probably on our second day of filming, cut around a tree into a cliff, and he smashed his face.
Yeah, we had to put new skin, right? That's weird new skin, and put makeup on it, and I had to like film from this side. I thought I busted my teeth out, but I was thinking if I bust my teeth, I'm just gonna be like,
A lot of long hours, and, you know, this movie costs a lot, but this is one of the demons, right? It was a great movie.
I think they should re-release it. Like it was the ball.
Yeah.
Every time I walk by, I'm like, oh, 3D folks. Like, it's not, yeah, we did. 3D Power Rangers. I thought you were talking about all that.
Yeah, we're supposed to do it like 3 months, and then it ended up being like 8 or something.
It was like double the amount.
I actually have a question for Jason. How do you think your opponents feel when you're walking into the cage being announced as the Green Ranger or the White Ranger?
I think everybody wants to smash me.
But how embarrassed do they feel because they all lose?
They're like honored about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And who doesn't know, he also has a career as a mixed martial artist.
And it's awesome. And it's awesome.
Thank you, man. But I was thinking, okay, I got to think of something clever to say in the press because I get asked that question. So I said, look, man, I got nothing to lose. Everyone says, you got everything to lose. You got nothing to lose. If I lose, right, you beat up the Green Ranger. Shame on you. If I won, you got beat up by the Green Ranger.
Yes.
So win-win for me. You got to fit it. You know?
Awesome.
So, but yeah, when I hit them, I think they're going to spark or something. Boom! Spark! Spark! Boom!
Awesome.
Walter?
They were really heavy, but I never wore them.
I love the costumes from the movie. I thought they were like way more badass. They were heavy though. I think one was 35 or 40 pounds.
You can't get that. Yeah, you know what? The technology nowadays, I gotta tell you, some of the stuff that you guys are making, Props Master, looks way better. I do the power boot camp at my dojo and stuff. It's like a training camp, like 11 hours. There's one coming up March 1st, but you can check it out on Facebook. But I got a lot of cool training people, but they go to my house and all, and I got this original Dragon Dagger, and I know Tony could say, it looks terrible. You know, Mark Richardson sold it to the Universal Studio Walk and had to buy it back along that match. So I have it, the original one that was sold. But some of the props are just so much better nowadays. And the material they have, they can reduplicate those costumes because someone's making me one. And it's just so much lighter. But we like them. Any step up, budget-wise, $1 million movie. You know, we had like stand-ins and, you know, we had chairs. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Like we were there for a very long time. So yeah, they were pretty cool. Yeah, buddy. Is that what you said? Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Come on!
I ain't gonna stop, I got it. Here you go. You all right?
Yeah!
Number 2. Hey, I'm going to go 1. 2, that's what I do before the fight, and then people compensate. And I go in like this. Yeah, buddy.
question. What happened to you, red and yellow, halfway to somebody more than you? This is
Yeah.
Peace conference.
And peace conference. I just flew in yesterday from Switzerland. No, but you know what? It was contractual. It was contractual disagreement. And in the end, we just didn't do the show. So I miss you guys too. I wanted to still be part of it, and I was disappointed that I was leaving. But in the end, it was like to even try to go back, there was a lot of negativity. It was weird. So it's all good. The beautiful thing is, I will forever be part of history as the originator of Power Rangers.
So besides, David and Jason being on the show for so long, the most consistent thing in Power Rangers was Molten Skull. How was working with Jason and Paul, offset and offset? You guys, I mean, that character is obviously very comical. When I look at off camera too.
You know what I mean? Yeah, off camera, they're the same. Paul, I still talk to Jason Nardi all the time. They're just funny. You know what I'm saying? It's like, when you go into a role, get serious. Because I think, honestly, and all due respect, David had the most acting stuff. Because he's not really like, he says big words, but it kind of loses me. But big words for me is like, big words like other stuff I can't pronounce. But he did a lot of acting and stuff like that. So when he'd go into his role, he would, study it. Acting. Non-stop, very consistent. They were funny. I hung out with Paul Rock. I think these guys, right? You might have some stories about it.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, but they're actually actors. I mean, the time and the character that they developed, they really put work into as well. I mean, they would be in their dressing room practicing like the bits because they had all the bits. They had to be funny, and they built a chemistry between the two of them that was unsurpassed and everlasting. So they did a great job. Great actors. And Narvi's now a doctor of
very
yeah. Well, no, he actually has a doctorate in theater, and he can wear it. So,
yeah, I know. He made me take my pants off and cough. I'm like, no hernia. Thanks. You guys are like, what the heck? The dream's just crushed. Look at this guy right there. Question for David?
If I had never left, would I still be in the same thing? Would Turbo after Zero? Probably not. I think I would have finished out Zero and that would have been the end.
Yeah, I flipped my coin to that. He did. What's up? Boom. That's what's funny. That's what's amazing.
Question back there, young lady? Okay.
Aw.
That's a good question. Sometimes I was in an elevator one time, these people recognize me. I know I said this story before, and they're like, "What floor?" I'm like, "No, I'm cool." So I go like this. They're looking at me, they're like, I said, "No, I'm fine." And I went like this one more time, and I said, "Floor 6, please." We flew by the airplane. I just couldn't bring the stuff, like the dragon dagger through airport security because they got a lockdown now.
In the interest of time, I'm going to take 3 more questions, and then if you gentlemen have any projects that you want to say something about, I'll give you a second to do that. So, right here. Favorite villain of all time?
For me, it would be Avenue from the movie.
I put some high boots on, like always wanted to like fall.
Best villain ever was clearly the Green Ranger.
Huge boots. We always used to laugh. Look at that. Oh, but the faucet monster, he like peed all over us. Remember, it's like, remember the faucet monster? Yeah. Oh, they had a faucet right there. Go watch it, the faucet monster. And if you get it, post it on my page. I want to see it.
I thought Lord Mayor was badass. And everything else, I was like, wow, he looks really intimidating.
I realized a while back that a lot of the clips are from an actual Japanese show. Have you guys ever watched any of that?
A little bit. I mean, the show ran for 20 years before it was brought to America. So Hans was a very smart man and buying the show that it run for 20 years and brought it to America out of American footage and made, had the paper half a show, basically. And I think I saw some of the footage of the Zoo Rangers